That loaf of bread in your kitchen right now, there's a good chance it's not what you think it is. For generations, Irish families have trusted the same brands, familiar packaging, comforting names, the loaves we grew up with. But something has changed. Something the industry desperately doesn't want you to notice. The bread filling Irish supermarkets today is not the bread your grandparents ate. It's not even close. I've spent weeks analyzing ingredient lists, reading food standards reports, and comparing what's actually inside these packages to what real bread should be. What I discovered is genuinely disturbing. Some of Ireland's most popular bread brands contain up to 20 ingredients when real bread needs only 4. They're loaded with preservatives banned in other countries, industrial seed oils your body was never designed to process, and enough added sugar that some loaves qualify as confectionery in certain European nations. Most Irish households consume bread at breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner. If you're eating the wrong bread, you're compromising your health 3 times daily. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which Irish bread brands to avoid and why they're quietly damaging your well-being. Number 8. Brennan's White Sliced. Brennan's is as Irish as it gets in homes since 1942. The packaging shows shamrocks and wholesome imagery, but their standard white sliced loaf is ultra-processed industrial bread designed for shelf life, not nutrition. The ingredient list reveals wheat flour, water, yeast, then vegetable oil, and sugar appearing twice to hide total content. 2 slices contain over 3 grams of sugar. Your body processes this like cake, spiking blood sugar and leaving you hungry within an hour. Calcium propionate extends shelf life, but research links it to behavioral issues in children. The sodium content hits 400 milligrams per 2 slices, over 20% of daily intake just from bread. At €4.50, Brennan's charges premium prices for white flour, sugar, and preservatives. The bread your grandparents bought had 4 ingredients. Today's version has 17. You're feeding your family industrial gums, emulsifiers, and preservatives disguised as breakfast. Number 7. Pat the Baker White Batch. Pat the Baker markets itself as artisan quality with traditional methods. The packaging shows rustic imagery and promises authentic Irish baking. But the ingredient list collapses the illusion immediately. Contains wheat flour, water, yeast, then vegetable fat, specifically palm oil. Environmentally destructive and nutritionally worthless compared to butter. Soya flour acts as cheap filler, reducing actual wheat content. Multiple emulsifiers, including mono and diglycerides, alter gut microbiota according to published research. Preservatives include calcium propionate and acetic acid. For artisan bread, industrial preservatives are pure deception. Real artisan bread contains none because it's meant to be eaten fresh within 2 days. Consumer reviews describe inconsistent quality. At €5.20 for 800 grams, you're paying artisan prices for industrial bread with clever marketing. Number 6. Hovis. Hovis is marketed as a traditional, wholesome Irish bread appearing in homes for generations. Its packaging emphasizes nostalgia and reliability, but the product inside tells a different story. Today, Hovis represents highly processed industrial bread designed for shelf life, not nutrition. The ingredient list includes wheat flour, water, yeast, and then multiple additives. Sugar appears twice. Vegetable oils, emulsifiers, preservatives, and flour treatment agents. These substances exist not for taste or health, but to stabilize the bread for mass production, transport, and extended storage. Despite its whole grain branding, much of the starch is rapidly converted to sugar in the body, causing blood sugar spikes and leaving you hungry again within an hour. Marketing slogans such as "source of fiber" or "made with care" mislead consumers into thinking this bread is closer to traditional real bread than it actually is. Hovis lacks the simplicity of 4-ingredient bread, replacing it with industrial shortcuts. Nutritionally, it falls far short. Choosing Hovis daily means feeding your family processed additives, unnecessary sugar, and low-satiety bread instead of simple real bread with minimal ingredients. Number 5. Dunnes Stores Simply Better White. Positioned as premium with higher quality ingredients, but examine the list and it's remarkably similar to budget brands with token improvements and higher prices. Contains wheat flour, water, rapeseed oil, sugar, and full industrial additives. Marketing emphasizes no artificial colors or flavors, which real bread never needed. Traditional bread was flour, water, salt, yeast. Consumer reviews describe it as indistinguishable from standard Dunn's bread in blind tests. At €4.95, you're paying 30% more for virtually identical ingredients. The premium positioning is marketing theater. The formula is industrial shortcut. You're paying for the label, not the loaf. Real bread doesn't need a premium tier. It's simple, or it isn't. This is industrial bread in premium packaging. Number 4. Little Bakery White Bloomer. The in-store bakery smell creates powerful associations. You see loaves from ovens, feels fresh and authentic. But this is par-baked industrial dough arriving frozen, reheated in store, sold as fresh. Ingredients reveal wheat flour, water, yeast, then vegetable fat, sugar, emulsifiers, flour treatment agents, preservatives. Real fresh bread doesn't need flour treatment agents. Those exist because this was manufactured in factories, frozen for transport, designed to survive industrial processes. The bloomer's shape and artisan appearance is theater. Dough identical to standard industrial bread, just formed differently to justify higher prices. At €2.49, budget artisan is a contradiction. The bloomer is baked in-store, yes, but the dough was engineered elsewhere, preserved chemically, and transported frozen. You're buying the smell of fresh bread while eating the chemistry of mass production. Number 3. Johnston Mooney and O'Brien. Johnston Mooney and O'Brien is often considered a trusted Irish bread brand associated with tradition and reliability. However, closer inspection shows their bread aligns more with industrial production than genuine baking. Ingredients go beyond the basics of flour, water, yeast, and salt. They include sugar, vegetable fats, emulsifiers, preservatives, and flour treatment agents. These additions are necessary because the dough is made in factories, frozen or transported, and designed to survive industrial handling, not to nourish. The texture is soft, uniform, and visually appealing, but it is artificially maintained rather than naturally achieved. Marketing focuses on traditional style, or handcrafted appearance. Yet, these labels refer only to aesthetics, not production methods. Blind taste tests often reveal that this bread is nearly indistinguishable from low-cost supermarket options, yet it is sold at higher prices. Nutritionally, it is low in fiber, high in quickly digested starches, and contains additives that are unnecessary in real bread. Families eating this bread 3 times a day are consuming sugar, sodium, and processed fats without realizing it. Number 2. Fitzgerald's. Fitzgerald's positions itself as a premium Irish bread brand using marketing terms such as artisan style, handcrafted, and traditionally baked to convey quality. However, the reality is that the bread is industrially produced with highly processed ingredients. Beyond wheat flour, water, yeast, and salt, Fitzgerald's loaves contain sugar, rapeseed oil, emulsifiers, flour treatment agents, and preservatives. These additives are included to extend shelf life, maintain softness, and ensure the bread survives transport and supermarket storage, not to improve nutrition or taste. The soft texture, uniform crumb, and perfectly shaped loaves are hallmarks of industrial processing rather than natural fermentation. While packaging emphasizes naturalness, the bread is not closer to traditional homemade loaves than standard supermarket bread. In blind taste tests, consumers often fail to distinguish Fitzgerald's from lower-cost brands. Nutritionally, it provides quick-digesting carbohydrates, added sugars, and unnecessary industrial fats. Families consuming this bread regularly are eating processed ingredients 3 times a day without realizing it. Premium positioning justifies higher prices, yet the product's health profile is similar to ordinary white or soft breads. Number 1. Irish Pride Bread. Irish Pride Bread is one of Ireland's most widely sold breads. Often found in almost every household, it is marketed as fresh, wholesome, and family-friendly. But the reality is far from traditional bread. The ingredient list includes wheat flour, water, yeast, and then a long series of additives: sugar, vegetable oils, emulsifiers, preservatives, and flour treatment agents. These ingredients exist to extend shelf life, maintain softness, and ensure the bread survives industrial transport and storage, not to provide nutrition. 2 slices contain multiple grams of sugar, while sodium levels are surprisingly high, contributing significantly to daily intake. Despite packaging that emphasizes freshness, the loaves are mass-produced, standardized, and heavily processed. Lacking the simplicity and integrity of traditional 4-ingredient bread, Consumers are paying for convenience and brand recognition rather than quality. Blind taste tests would likely show little difference between Irish Pride and generic supermarket bread. Though prices are often higher, eating it daily exposes families to unnecessary additives, quickly digested starches, and industrial fats. Irish Pride may feel familiar and easy to buy, but it represents industrial ultra-processed bread that prioritizes shelf life, marketing, and appearance over real nutrition or authenticity. 8 brands engineered around profit margins, shelf life, and industrial convenience rather than human health. Preservatives, emulsifiers, seed oils, hidden sugar. Industrial dough frozen and shipped, par-baked and reheated to feel fresh. Cheap fillers hiding behind premium branding. Chemical shortcut after chemical shortcut. 2 producers asked a different question entirely. What if we just made real bread and let it speak for itself? No preservatives, no emulsifiers, no industrial theater. Number 2, McCambridge. McCambridge uses few ingredients, long fermentation, and no unnecessary additives. Flour, water, salt, and thyme. Nothing more. The result is more digestible, satisfying, and closer to the bread of earlier generations. The sourdough is fermented properly, which means the gluten is broken down naturally, making it easier for your body to process. There is no need for emulsifiers or flour treatment agents when fermentation is done right. The bread goes stale in days, but it stays fresh in your body for hours, genuine satiety from real ingredients. McCambridge proves that Irish bread can be simple, authentic, and readily available. The loaves are sold in supermarkets and farmers' markets, at reasonable prices. The ingredient list reads like a recipe, not a chemistry experiment. Number 1, The Handmade Bread Company. The Handmade Bread Company is a Dublin-based bakery making genuine artisan bread. Sourdough contains 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, sourdough culture. Fermented 24 hours using wild yeast. No shortcuts. No preservatives. No industrial additives. Real sourdough fermentation takes time because it's supposed to. The wild yeast and bacteria in the culture naturally preserve the bread and break down the gluten. When you eat this bread, your body recognizes it as food, not industrial product. Available at selected supermarkets and farmers' markets. At €5.50, you're paying for real ingredients and traditional baking, the hours of fermentation, the skilled baker's attention, the honest simplicity of what bread should be. The difference between the Handmade Bread Company and Irish Pride isn't just nutrition, it's philosophy. One brand believes bread should nourish your family. The other believes bread should maximize profit and shelf life. One uses time. The other uses chemistry. One trusts ingredients. The other masks them. The Irish bread industry has been quietly degrading for decades. Trusted brands have been reformulated with cheaper ingredients, more additives, longer shelf life. The bread that built this nation had 4 ingredients and went stale in 2 days. Modern supermarket bread has 20 ingredients and lasts 2 weeks. All those preservatives, emulsifiers, seed oils serve one purpose: profit maximization. Families are eating industrial shortcuts disguised as breakfast. 8 brands we exposed are charging you for convenience while compromising your health 3 times daily. 2 brands prove that real Irish bread still exists if you know where to look. The Handmade Bread Company and McCambridge make bread the way it's supposed to be made. Simple, fermented, real, no theater, no chemistry, no health compromises. What can you do? Try baking 1 loaf weekly. It's simple, inexpensive, honest, and a skill you can pass to the next generation. If you don't have time for baking, make better choices. Choose bread with fewer ingredients. Look for whole grain flour first. Avoid vegetable oils and extensive preservative lists. You don't need perfection, just better choices more often. Irish families deserve real food and honest labeling. Instead, we've been sold illusions. They kept familiar names while fundamentally changing what's inside. What we're buying today is engineered, manipulated, softened, preserved with chemicals. Until we stop accepting these imitations, the industry will continue prioritizing profit over people. Read your labels. Count the ingredients. If it's more than 5, question why. Your family's health depends on it. Stay informed and protect your family's health.